Well, I just got to tell you, I'm really excited about our next speaker. She is a fashion designer extraordinaire. She went to school at Sheridan College, and then she continued her studies in Europe. In 1974, she started her own fashion empire, where she refused to make clothes outside the country of Canada. It became a very, very large company, absolutely. And today she is a professor over at George Brown College, and she's still a fashion designer extraordinaire. And backstage, I had a chance, of course, to take a quick picture with her. And as I was taking a picture with her, I turned to her and I said, "Oh, wow, you smell really great." She goes, "Oh, thanks. It's my signature line." I'm like, that was a first for me. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Linda Lundstrom. Have fun.
Thank you. Actually, my signature fragrance only caused me to lose $250,000. You know, by the time you buy the bottles, they're from France, and you buy the juice, it's a long story, but I'm down to my last bottle. I was spraying it everywhere just to use up the inventory. It brought back so many memories. Thank you, Stuart. Thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you all for coming to support the Autistic Ontario. It's really a pleasure to be here, and when I gave Stuart my list of 7 or 8 topics that I could speak on, he chose the one he thought would be the best mixed together with the other speakers. I'm going to knock this thing over. Pardon, excuse me. Because, you know, when you're wearing a dress like this, which, by the way, what do you think? Do I look okay? I made it myself. Yes, I did. I really did yesterday afternoon. Okay, so I'm here to talk to you. So the topic he chose was the F word. So I'm here to talk to you about the F word, which is a word, you know, that I'm very familiar with. But first of all, let me give you a little background. In 1954, apparently, I don't remember this, but I started sewing on my mom's little featherweight Singer sewing machine. Anybody here know what I'm talking about? It's a little black machine, comes out of a little black box, and it was ordered from Eaton's catalog. Eaton's, for those of you who don't know, was a really big company, and they had catalogs that went, anyway, I lived up in northwestern Ontario in a little tiny town, a gold mining town. By the time I was in grade 1, I was sewing my own clothes to wear to school. Well, because I was good at it. And that little sewing machine and the thread that came from that sewing machine is the reason that I'm here today. I parlayed that ability to sew into a career as a fashion designer. There weren't a lot of other options for me, actually, because I graduated from high school with a 53% average. I tried. I worked hard. You know, the night before a history exam, I'd be up till 3 o'clock in the morning. You know. Making an outfit to wear to the exam. Yes. That long hallway was just like a runway to me. Twiggy was my idol. I did the painted eyelashes on the bottom lid. I went to Sheridan College, and that's where I found my tribe. Other people that love to sew too. In 1974, I started Linda Lundstrom Limited in a 2-bedroom apartment at Oakwood and St. Clair. Okay, imagine, just go to Oakwood, just a little west of Oakwood. And I was in a second floor of a fourplex, and I made a great big sign that said Linda Lundstrom Limited, and then I put my phone number on it. Well, and when the obscene phone calls became too much to handle, I finally moved. By 1999, that company had moved 5 times, my company moved 5 times, and occupied a 60,000 square foot, state-of-the-art manufacturing facility right here in Toronto with 150 employees, 400 retailers throughout North America carrying our product. And one of the products I'm best known for is a product called La Parka. And all you had to do was, go to any schoolyard at recess and you'd see teachers wearing it on yard duty. And the company grew and exceeded sales of $12 million. Not bad for somebody who started sewing on a little Singer sewing machine. I was given awards, which I'm proudly wearing tonight. Mostly because of the message that I want to share with you. These awards are important. The company grew and grew, profitable. Then in the year 2000, we moved to a new premises and we had a decline in sales. Now, I had always been dealing with an increase in sales. This was the first time, and that's challenging. By the way, any of you who have a growing business, you know that your growth is always more than what your bank is willing to support. And this was always my challenge. I had never experienced a decline in sales. But hey, that's okay. We're just going to keep on going. By that time, I was married, had 2 wonderful daughters. But when that financial crisis hit in 2000, I said, there is no effing way that I'm going to not get through this. So I worked harder. I made more styles. If they didn't like this, I'll make them 5 other things. I became tough. I became really tough and really determined to keep this company going. And we refinanced the company, but we had to put our home, all of the loan, that the money that the company owed to us, myself and my husband. And by the way, my husband joined the company in 1986. I married him and then I hired him. Hi, honey, I know you're up there somewhere. But what happened was that I began to feel frantic, because nothing was working. Nothing was working. The added styles I was doing didn't increase our sales. And the risks that was when I came up with the fragrance. Oh. I'm going to just be like Alfred Sung. I can make a fragrance. And it is beautiful, by the way. I'm sure it's in some discount fragrance place to this day, at some strip mall out in Etobicoke. I worked harder. I began to pray. I prayed, God, show me the way. I was running on adrenaline. God, give me more energy. And things got worse. However, with hard work and a loyal staff and a community of retailers throughout North America, we brought the company back to profitability by 2003. Of the 34 years that I was in business, the company was profitable for 30 of those 34 years. And I just thought it would continue forever. Then in January of 2008, the bank called our loan. And for the first time, I had to let the F word become part of my vocabulary. The F word was failure. We had to declare personal bankruptcy. The bank gave us 30 days to pay back $2 million. We had to sell our house. We had to sell everything. I invited failure in, and I said, I've been denying you all these years. Can we talk? What is this going to be like? What about my employees? Failure told me, don't worry about your employees. Take care of your family. What about my house? Well, no, you're not going to be able to keep your house. What about my trips to Paris to buy fabric? Nope. Those are going to have to go. What about my suppliers that I owe money to? No, well, they can't be paid, not in full anyway. Oh my gosh, how do I deal with the guilt and shame? I feel like I've let so many people down. I've let so many people down. At that time, we were rushing to our cabin in Caledon every weekend and rushing back on Sundays. I said, am I going to lose the cottage? And failure said, no, I think you can hang on to that if you get rid of everything else. My message to you tonight is that failure is a terrible thing to experience. I'm not talking having a bad hair day. I'm not talking about, the little failures. I'm talking a big frickin' failure. A big one, like this one. It's an important thing to experience. And when failure knocks on your door and the time is right, let it in. Because failure also comes bearing gifts. Failure brought me the gift of humility. I weaned myself off of the adrenaline. I became softer, more empathetic. I was given a simpler life. I now live in that cabin, have been there for 3 winters with no insulation and only a wood stove as our primary source of heat. But it's beautiful because we're in nature. I lost my confidence as a public speaker. I lost my confidence as a designer, and I sat and looked at that lake for 3 years, in between teaching at George Brown and various other things. Today, we're living in our cabin at Green Lake. I'm teaching, advising others. I have a line called Designed by Linda Lundstrom, which you can see on our online boutique, designedbylindalundstrom.com. Thank you. Thank you. I have several cards in my purse for the party afterwards. And I'm ready for some success. And I'm hoping it could start tonight. Thank you.
Amazing job. Thank you.